Hey everyone, it's Mark and Tammy Smith here. We're so excited about this night, this special night of training. And Mark and I especially like the beginning of a new year because it's really about new beginnings, embarking on a new journey. And we're gonna do that together with you tonight, just really creating that action plan. You know, Mark and I have huge dreams, huge goals, we always have. And we know the important step in those dreams and goals is having an action plan in place. And so we know you're ready for it because you're here listening to this training, and we are just super enthused about everything that we're gonna lay out for you step by step to help create this amazing plan to allow your dreams and goals to become your reality. So what I'd like to do is just, jump right into it. But first I want to just share with you something that was actually really shocking for me to learn. And that is the fact that I learned that the amount of attempts that one makes towards their goals is less than one. And for me, that was a shock to learn. I'm like, gosh, what would allow someone to hesitate to even take that first step to attempt their dreams and goals? Well, Mark and I were kind of talking about that, and we thought, you know what, there are so many different things. People are afraid of disappointment. They're just afraid, period. They have self-doubt, negativity all around them, and just maybe they think, you know what, I'm inadequate. I don't think I can perform at that level. I don't think I deserve what I wish to have in life.
Yeah, so one of the things that Tammy and I want to do is probably a little bit different of a training, and that's Mark and Tammy Unplugged. So we're just going to have a one-on-one kind of conversation today. So it's going to be a little bit different than the formal training you might see on a stage or a formal training in maybe a corporate type video. This is going to be Tammy and I really taking you deep inside some of our personal goal setting. So we're here at our home office, and we've kind of prepared some things that we're going to share with you. And along the way, maybe we may think of some other things that we might just grab off the shelf, so kind of bear with us.
So if it gets a little random, we apologize.
Yeah.
This is just us.
We think real is better, right? Real is better. And so sometimes you have these formal goal-setting workshops where you just hear all these steps. And we're going to give you the 6 steps to goal setting today in a different way, probably in a format that you may have not seen before. Tammy and I are a product of goal setting. We are a product of dream building, visualizing our dreams and goals, talking about them daily, really doing what the plan says and setting these goals with 6 easy steps. And so we're going to share kind of some of the things that we've done together with these 6 steps. So let's start off with step number 1, which is clearly write out your goals. And so Tammy talks about most people don't even write out their goals, and writing out your goals is everything. So what I wanted to do is, this is just a sample. These are just a few, and as you can see, there's quite a bit in there. You probably can't see the bookshelf that's over here, but we have basically shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves, both at our home office here and next door at our home, where Tammy's office is. And we're talking just journal after journal after journal of setting goals and dream building. I've got one of my favorite journals here, my Jim Rohn journal. And this thing is just filled with nuggets, the 1%ers. This is one of my first journals in network marketing. Got tons of other journals here, some little ones. We went on a trip to Prague and we bought these cool little ones, and there's got awesome goals in here. And just writing your goal down is definitely the first step. Take action and write that goal down. Once you write it down, there's other steps and you have to do other things to make that goal really come true for you, but writing it down is everything. And I can tell you one of the most important goals that I personally wrote in our journey here at Network Marketing, and actually the date's on the journal, it's 2001, right? Wow, I feel a little old right now. But 2001, I can tell you where I was. I was in Tyson's Corner, which is in Virginia, Northern Virginia. It was a training actually with Jeff Olson. We were talking about kind of going to the next level, and it was one of these like all-day events, right? And so we were still a military family. I remember that it was a Sunday because I can remember that the training went till about 1 in the morning, and I remember texting Tammy back and forth. It was going all night long, and the next morning I needed to be at the Navy hospital and working bright and early in the morning. And this was the point in our career where we were just like ready to go to the next level, sick and tired of being sick and tired. We were at 40 grand in credit card debt. We were struggling. You remember the water bill, right?
Yes.
We had a water bill come and they were going to turn our water off.
Many notices have been pasted on our front door with all of our utilities, and our landlord actually would come knocking on the door looking for the rent.
I remember him saying, the water company is serious this time. They're really going to shut your water off. It's kind of funny, we laugh about it now, but we were not laughing about it then. So we're over the pain of it, but we don't forget the pain so that we can remember the journey, and we know how to do it again, how to get ourselves to the next level. And so during this training, one of the goals that I wrote down very, very clearly, and I'm not going to read you the pages of what I wrote myself, but I will tell you that being in the military at that time, one of my goals that I wrote at this training was decide today to go full-time in network marketing. Made a decision to leave the military, which is a really, really hard decision because we loved being a military family. But after many, many years in the military, it was time to move on. We wanted that next chapter in our life. I wrote down exactly what I was going to do, exactly what I needed to do, and then when I got home that night, I don't know if Tammy and I slept that night, but we talked about, okay, it's time to go full time. And here's how serious we were. When we wrote this down, the very next day, I went to my commanding officer in the military and said, hey, I've made a decision to move on because we had already been in the military and served our contract, so we had the ability to make that decision, and they were blown away. Like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, you're a career person in the military. What would make you make that decision? And, there was no changing our minds. We had made the decision that we were going to move on and go full time because we really believed this industry could be our vehicle to get to the next level. And that's what happened for us. So that was one of the most important goals that I've ever set, where I wrote that down. And Tammy supported that. And I tell you, it was a tough time in our careers because Tammy was, unbeknownst to us, well, we knew she was pregnant, obviously, but she was one day away, really, when we first joined this industry from giving birth. So one day before, our application went in, where we were going to be in the network marketing industry, Tammy gave birth to our first child, Caitlin. And so this was not that far after that where we're saying, okay, we believe in this industry so much, we're going full time. And financially, we weren't ready for it, but mentally, we definitely were.
So you can just imagine that all of our friends and our family saying, you were absolutely nuts. But like Mark said, we made that decision, we wrote it down, and we went with it. And it didn't matter what anyone else had to say about that thought, because it was none of their business. Yeah. It was between him and I to make that decision to make it happen. Now, it actually reminds me of another training we went to there shortly thereafter, that date in 2001 when you wrote that down. And that was when we had a thought about, actually, we were in a training, and we were super enthused, we were pumped up, and I remember looking over at Mark and saying, we need to sell everything we own, get a motor coach, and build our team across the country.
So the easy part is we didn't own a lot then in our life, so
no,
it was still pretty scary.
We still had the $40,000 debt. That didn't go away. That was still there. But it was this thought that entered, and I shared it with Mark, and we kind of laughed about it. But you know what? We talked about it so much and how fun it would be, how incredible it would be. How often would you have the opportunity to do something like that? We had a little dog and we had a little baby, so everyone was very mobile. We could move anybody and put anyone wherever we needed to go. But then we started talking about it more and more, and we decided, you know what, let's ink this. Let's write this down and make this a goal. Wouldn't that be really cool if we could make that happen? So that's exactly what we did. We followed in suit with these steps. We wrote that in a goal to make it part of our plan.
And so let's talk about step number 2 in goal setting. Step number 2 is creating a time element. And a time element is most of the time for people that write a goal, the time element is the part that they miss. So they write a goal, I want to be debt-free, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, I want to be able to pay for my children's college, but they don't write a specific time element to hold themselves accountable to. And it's probably one of the things that Tammy's the best at is just coming down. I know she's an A student. I was not an A student, but Tammy was an A student. I poke fun at her all the time for it. But in all seriousness, she's very, very organized. She's very precise in goal setting and very precise in setting that time element. And here's the thing: success takes time. It's not an overnight process. There's a saying that at the counter of success, you must pay full retail. There's no discounts. And so you're going to go through some different steps to reach whatever level of success that you're trying to create for you and your family. And so you're going to have some small goals, and you're going to have very, very large goals. Okay, don't confuse the two. The small goals are the kind of the easy ones, right? Hey, I want to get to a point where we're able to go out to dinner once a month or once a week. That was a goal of ours. Remember, it was, wow, what would it be like to go out once a month to eat at a restaurant? I mean, that's where we were. We were on the ramen noodle diet at one point in our lives, right? And so it does take time. And so just be patient. Let me give you kind of an example. Take a mushroom, for example. A mushroom takes about 6 hours to grow. Okay, you ever go out, you overwater your lawn, you go out the next morning, there's mushrooms everywhere. Okay, it's 6 hours for a mushroom to grow. An oak tree, for example, takes 60 years to grow. It's 60 years. Would you want the life of a mushroom, or would you want the life of an oak tree? Okay, I don't know about you, but Tammy and I, we've chosen, we want the life of an oak tree, solid as an oak tree, okay? But that takes time, 6 hours or 60 years. Now, your journey doesn't have to take 60 years here, but it's not 6 minutes, it's not 6 hours, it's not 6 days, it's not 6 weeks. You gotta be in it for the long haul, and you gotta be willing to make that investment in your future.
Now, it's funny, as Mark had mentioned, we made it a goal to go out to eat once a month. And I remember specifically when that once a month happened. That was at the end of the month. After we had hit our rank of executive director, we would go because we were exhausted and we were starving because we hadn't eaten for a while. We would work super hard to get to that goal, and then we would go and celebrate with a nice meal. But that was what that was for us. But really creating that time element is super important, because then you can craft a whole plan around that time element. For myself, it's always about budgeting. I love to budget. It's something that, as far as like creating a game plan and reaching your goals, financially, all different kinds of goals. But for Mark and I, it was specifically, it took into play when we were really focused on getting a property in the Turks and Caicos Islands. You're gonna hear more about that planted throughout this whole training. But for us, we need to raise a specific dollar amount within 12 months in order to reserve a lot in a special development in the Turks and Caicos. Mark went on a trip, and he was super fired up. I stayed behind with our daughter, and I just got, phone calls, emails from Mark just talking about what he was seeing, this vision, this huge life that exists out there. People actually buy vacation property in islands, and we're sitting in Maryland, renting a home, and our life was about this big, and people are living huge lives. And so for us, it was incredible. It was a great vision. Were we able to financially afford it just like that? No, but we decided that we needed to make a plan and have that time limit put into place, because what that allowed us to do was to create a plan. How are we going to financially afford this? This amount happened to be a $25,000 goal, which was huge to us at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that was a down payment just to reserve the right to even move forward. It was a 1-year goal to be able to move forward, to get on the list. It was actually $25,000 to get on the list, to be able to be considered to be able to buy some of these properties. And we were not at a position in our lives to be looking at a property in the Turks and Caicos Islands. But I was so fired up when I came home. I'm like, Tammy, we gotta do it. And she I kind of sold her on it. I'm pretty good at that. I sold her in marrying me, so that obviously we know I'm a good salesperson. But I really sold her, and I'm like, you just trust me, when you go there, you're gonna fall in love with it. And so I relied on her smarts to just come up with, okay, give me the amount, and I almost think you were testing me. Were you testing me? Like, we're not going to be able to do it, right? But so I'm like, all right, tell me what I need to do. How many times have I done it? Tell me what I need to do.
Tell me what I need to do to get that dream, to make that dream come true. And so I created this little Excel spreadsheet, nothing fancy as you can tell, but it was basically the months that we had in front of us, January through December, how much I had a rate to save each month in order to reach that goal of about $25,000. And then I had a little completion goal, a completion column to let me know whether I did it or not. It felt so good at the end of the month when I was able to put an X in that box to say, yes, I made that $2,500 or that January savings, a little over $2,000 in our savings account. Check that box. It felt so great. We carried that throughout the year. But really what happened to us from that point was to create another goal, because we were chosen as one to be able to have one of those lots. And then this is just an example of that, of the loan that we were able to get, and then the payments that we made, aggressive payments. We wanted to make sure, we completed this goal and we lived. It was great. It felt great. So then we said, okay, let's make it interesting. Let's take that loan we have and let's not allow it to last, 5 years down the line. Let's pay it in 3 years. And so this is the example of my payments in 2007, 8, and 9 until we fully, completely paid off our property. Guys, we were not making a lot of money to make this happen. But what we did have is the faith in ourselves to go ahead and move forward and make the decision that we were going to make this happen no matter what. we were gonna, make sacrifices as far as going out to eat and going to different places and spending money on different things that we didn't necessarily need because this was our goal and this was our focus for that time. I love that the idea of creating a budget tells you where to put your money instead of you at the end of the day saying, whoa, where did all my money go? So it kind of gives you that direction.
Whoa, that was good. Wow, that's why before I met Tammy, I sat there and said, where'd all my money go? Then I
had plans for it.
Then I met my little financial consultant. She actually budgets my Starbucks intake, and that's a serious thing. It's kind of funny. But, if you want certain things in life, you have to be willing to make certain sacrifices. And so there's always a trade-off. If you want to have that dream trip or that dream vacation or that dream home, or you want to be a stay-at-home parent, or you want to get out of debt or pay for your college, your children's college fund early. Like Tammy and I, we have a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old. We've already thought through all of their college, so those became goals. Now we're giving you huge goals of where we're at now, but we started. That's not where we started. The ramen noodles to the once a month date night. Dinners out in town. That's kind of where we started. Then it worked into paying off the credit card debt. And once we could see the light a little bit at the end of the tunnel, we started to talk and dream, bigger and bigger along the way. And so really, step number 3 is to write out a plan. And that's one thing that we're really good at is really writing out the plan. What is that plan? Work is required for success. And I think sometimes people kind of mess that up, like, oh, you just kind of think about it and you dream about it and you get a poster and bam, mailbox money. It just starts showing up in your mailbox. That's called a scam, by the way. That stuff doesn't work. Okay, it is hard work. Okay, it's going to be a journey. It's not a straight up and to the right journey. It's up and down, right? We've had a lot of ups and downs, but it's worth it. And so if your goal is a worthy goal, it's going to be worth it. Is your goal a worthy goal, or is your goal a Mickey Mouse goal? Now, I love Disneyland, but I mean a Mickey Mouse goal. Is it just a little kiddie goal that you're not serious about? There's an old saying that if your why is so big that it makes you cry, a tear to your eye when you try to explain it to someone, then you probably have something deep inside that's serious that you're going to probably be willing to go through a brick wall and get it. And so how big is your goal, and how serious and how passionate are you about it? And when we say big goal, for some people it might be the dream home. That's good for them if they want that. There's nothing wrong with that. But someone else's goal is bigger than the dream home that's get home with my kids. So everybody has a different reason. Don't try to judge someone's goal equivalent to your goal. Your goal is your goal. Don't compete with other people. Timmy and I, how many times we've been through that? We've seen people even try to compete with us, right? And when we first got in the industry, we started to compete with other people, and then we realized that there's no joy in competing with other people. Right? Compete against yourself. It's the most fulfilling thing ever. Look in the mirror and compete against yourself. Leave everyone else out of it. Don't have envy and don't and even sometimes, with the haters out there, there's plenty of haterade to go around. Okay? Let someone else drink the haterade, not us, not you. Okay? Be happy for other people's success. We used other people's success to propel us. Do you remember dreaming about, some of the success other people are having? You and I didn't sit there and hate on them. We sat there and cheered them on. We were up in the bleachers at a convention going, wow, that's awesome. For Tammy and I, it's possible, right?
Exactly. It was more of a possibility, like, wow, those people can achieve those goals and live that kind of lifestyle. Hey, we can do that too. Let's just work hard for it.
Yeah. So step number 3 is to write out a solid plan. Let me just give you a quick example here. It's interesting. It's so cool to be able to share like actual things that we actually did. There's a lot of books written out there by people that are quote unquote experts. What I found out is probably 8 out of 10 of the books that are out there, personal development and making it big in business and breaking the success code. There's all this stuff out there, right? 8 out of 10 of those books, the person that wrote the book, they've never done it. They've never done it. They wrote a book about it, okay? And so be careful who you follow. Be careful what books you buy into, okay? We read tons of books, okay? We've read hundreds of books in our 16 years in this industry. But have a filter, okay? Have a filter. Just know that there are books out there written by people that it's just theory to them. And so one of the things that Tammy and I wanted to do today that was different was the unplugged version was, look, we may have some hiccups during this video session. We told ourselves before we did this, one cut. This is a one-cut video, okay? We don't care what happens, unless I fall off the chair or something, or Tammy pushes me off the chair. Okay, we're just gonna be goofy, we're gonna be ourselves, we're gonna be real, we're gonna just grab some of our note cards, we're gonna grab some of our journals, We may find something as we're thumbing through one of our journals that triggers another training point, right? And so one of the things about step number 3 in writing a plan, what is the plan? People get all messed up with this. Oh, please coach me on writing the plan. Here at Nerium, we have a plan, right? It's simple. What rank do you want to be? And every rank in the compensation plan pays you X amount of dollars, right? So you have to figure it out. If you're looking to make $3,000 a month and that's going to serve a certain need, then you're going to want to hit the rank that's equivalent to that. If you have these crazy over the top daydream type goals and you want to make a 6-figure income or a multiple 6-figure income, just know it's going to be hard work, okay? You're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have some early mornings, some late nights, and you're going to hit one of those top positions in the business. And so what I wanted to do, Tammy mentioned the Turks and Caicos, right? So she had her budget going and she's like, okay, here's the budget. You want the Turks and Caicos property? This is the budget. This is the money every month extra that you're going to have to help generate and we're going to save to get this property. Well, we wrote a plan. This is the actual index note card flip chart. This is the plan. I took a picture. I'll actually come up to the camera here. I actually took a picture. This is the actual property in the Turks and Caicos. I think I have a little arrow there and it says our house, okay? And we didn't have it yet, but I just talked it into existence. And basically what we did is we wrote, this is just, this is week 1, week 2, week 3, this whole entire thing. This is the model, the key of what we followed. And this is pages and pages and pages of activity, okay? And so basically, this was how many people we need to talk to, how many exposures a day, how many people we were willing to talk about with our business and our products, how many follow-ups we were going to do on a daily basis, how many personal recruits that we needed to do each week to help us create the volume, to create the rank advancement, which would create the income. And so we worked it backwards. So first we wrote a goal, and then we wrote a time element, and then we wrote a plan. Every single goal we've ever achieved together has been in that order. We wrote the goal. Sometimes it was just a crazy idea. Then it became a real idea. And then we wrote it down. We got serious about it. Then we wrote a time element. Tammy would always say, okay, well, when are we going to do it? Oh, man, do we have to write a time element? Because a lot of times we like to just daydream, right? That's what a lot of us do. And daydreaming is good. Don't ever let anyone tell you to stop daydreaming. But it's, you can't just daydream about it. At some point, you got to write it down, put the time element, and then write the plan. This is the hard work part, is writing the plan, and the plan is important, and there's a plan in Nerium for you. We have elements that teach you what to do to drive consistent business, right?
Yes, so back in September at our conference in Dallas, I did a training segment about building your Nerium lifestyle, and that was really focused on your time in your day that you work your Nerium business. What are you doing? Are you doing income producing activity, or are you cleaning your desk and doing maybe B, C activities? So your focus on your goal, maybe your goal is not I want to make X amount of dollars. Maybe it's a goal of a home, a piece of property on an island or a car. Guess what? The only thing keeping you away from that object of desire is the money. And so you oftentimes need to create that financial goal to help you get to your goal. So here in Nerium, we have high payoff activities or income producing activities, which are really easy to display. They're your daily exposures, getting 2 a day out very easily. Follow-up calls, people that you've already shared Nerium with, personal 3-way calls, product prospecting system, making sure that you get rid of all your product on hand so that you can have those bottles working for you as employees, going to real results parties, market parties, and so forth. Doing all of those things are income producing activity. Now, one thing that we have here at Nerium that is really, I like to look at it as a recipe for success almost, is our 10 core commitments. And really in creating that plan, based on the level, the rank that you're at today, you can pull out that comp plan and it'll tell you how much you need to make, or you will make, when you sponsor someone, when you sell a product, you can actually figure out exactly how many of each activity that you need to do to create that income amount, that income goal. And so here, we have the 10 core commitments that are so simple to do. Anyone can do them. And you guys don't allow your minimums to be your maximum, because we know that some people here are here for a lot bigger goals and dreams. And that means you can pour more into your daily activities than maybe someone else that has a smaller goal. Nothing wrong with that. But if someone only needs to earn a couple $100s a month, which was our story in the very beginning, our goals were much smaller, or our goals were much smaller before then than they are now. But we've also stepped up our activity too, because our dreams and our goals got bigger because we saw, wow, we could generate a couple $100 extra. What will stop us from generating a couple $1,000s a month? What about more than that? So, I like to say, take that first step, at least incorporate this at the minimum, at least once a day. Do your 10 core commitments. And then you'll realize how simple it is and how easy it is to infuse that into your day and call out work. And then you'll easily be able to add more to really help cushion your dreams and goals.
One of the things too is I think a lot of people need that where do I check the box today? And that's what the 10 core commitments did for me personally, is I needed to know, okay, give me the minimums. I need to know what the minimums are. And then you'll work those minimums. I love how Tammy said that. Don't make your minimums your maximums. Because sometimes people go, okay, I did it. I read my 10 pages. Okay, well, you're not going to fall over dead if you read 12 pages. We promise you that, okay? No one's going to penalize you if you did your 2 exposures today and you slip up and get a 3rd, okay? You're going to gauge it on the size of your goals, but the 10 core is just something that was really fun for us to hold each other accountable to, and we did funny little things. I can remember, I was really struggling when at the end of my career in the Navy, when I really wanted to go full-time in this industry. I was struggling just trying to get the activity in, and so I used to put 2 quarters in one pocket, and that was to signify my 2 exposures that I was going to do each day. And then I would take a quarter from my right pocket and put it in my left pocket when I got an exposure. And so the goal was, before I came home and Tammy held me accountable, she'd go, okay, what does it look like? And and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I'd just be down on myself. I would struggle, and I even really at some points towards the transition from the Navy into full time here, I just flat out got depressed. Like, man, can I do this? And I would just always remind myself of our why and our goals at that point. They were really strong, right? They weren't getting the dream home and going on the dream trip. They were eating, putting food in the fridge, paying the bills. So a lot more meaningful goals at that point, right? And so, I'd get to the door and go, oh my goodness, let me grab these quarters and throw them in my left pocket so Tammy wouldn't know. Unfortunately, wives figure things out, and Tammy would go, you didn't really do it today, didn't you? No, I didn't really do it today. Those are just the goofy things we had to go through, but it worked, right? And they were fun.
The secret to that is get the phone numbers.
Yep.
If there are no phone numbers, then you didn't really give out 2 a day.
I forgot that part. What was their names? And so, look, we just went through those things. So let's talk about step number 4, because step number 4 on creating a dream board and visual goals. I would say that this is probably the thing that Tammy and I are both, this is the thing we're the strongest at as a couple. Dream building, dream boards, visualization, having crystal thoughts about talking. We're like 2 little kids in a candy store sometimes. Like, oh, what if we did this? And what if we did that? And what if the house was in this neighborhood? And what if we had this cool little backyard? And what if we had this awesome swimming pool? And we just start really getting into it. All of a sudden, it crystallizes that picture in our brain, and then just something about our chemistry where our brain goes, and we go, okay, let's write it down. Let's put a time element. And so a dream board is really, really, really important. I can just tell you that I used to think it was cheesy. I remember I used to tell our mentors, like, I don't need to be motivated. I need to make money. I don't need the cheesy goal setting. I need to pay my bills. I remember getting upset about it, like, oh, they want me to, write it down and put a time element. And I remember getting mad about it, like, look, I can't pay my bills. Like, show me how to do this thing. Show me how to make money in this business, because I don't have time for all your rah-rah cheer session of how to go make it. Until Tammy and I really started doing this, we didn't really achieve our goals. And this is where it clicked for us, with having that visualization.
Well, and I remember when, our mentors would tell us, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go get poster board, and then you're gonna get glue and scissors. And I remember thinking, whoa, wait, what? I am not back in elementary school. I am trying to pay bills here, and I'm trying to feed a baby. And so I thought it just sounded absolutely ridiculous. But there was a moment where we said, you know what? Let's just do it. This is not working out for us right now, so we need to move ahead and do what's working for everybody else, all of our successful friends. And so what I like to say is, what you hold in your heart, you can hold in your hand. But if it's not visually there, how are you ever going to see it? If you can't look at, pictures of other people enjoying success, enjoying a wonderful life, seeing that, you can even cut somebody's head and put your head in there. But what we've done that. But every year we create our own vision board. And so what I've been doing, it's December right now, and so January's coming. I want to be prepared coming into the new year. And so I've already started my dream board, and I want to share a little bit of it with you. We don't have to go through everything, but I definitely want to share with you some of the elements of my dream board. And you can
I'm the dream board holder, by the way.
He's Vanna White. But really, you know, what is my focus? My kids have always been at the center of every one of my dream boards. And so, you know, for me, it keeps me centered. It keeps me to have that reason. I want to continue to be a stay-at-home parent, and I want my husband to be a stay-at-home dad. And so with that, we want to make sure that we're always glued in sync with what we're doing every single day is because of these two right here. And so, you know, Mark and I's picture right here, just a reminder that we're having a lot of fun in our business. We're having a lot of fun with each other, and just being inspired about going new places with you know, being who we are, you know, being crazy and goofy and helping to train the masses and building dreams and allowing other people to visualize and dream themselves. You know, one of our goals, we've always talked about going to Italy, but obviously we didn't want it enough because we never put it on our board. And so this year, I decided this year we're going to go to Italy. I need my time element here. That will be determined.
I guess we're going to Italy. It's on Tammy's board, so I better start getting ready for that trip.
And I've already got the whole agenda planned. I know exactly where we're going, how we're going to how the transportation is routed and everything, got that in place. But also, you know, just giving back to the military is something else that we want to keep in the forefront of our mind because that's something that we're super passionate about. We're going to be a little more aggressive this year than we've been in years past. And so we're super excited about that. And then, of course, I always have some sort of financial goal in place. I don't have that many goals, but they're all big goals. Yeah. And so, you know, this one is a huge goal for Mark and I personally. And, you know, I know that everyone has some sort of financial goal. And just to have that thermometer and be able to color in as you go up on your financial goal, I think that it's incredible to just have that in front of you. And the most important thing for me is to have this in front of me, in front of my desk. I have it on the opposite wall. Now, every day when I sit down at my desk to go to work, I'm looking at this. Throughout the day, when I'm sitting there, you know, checking emails or writing notes, my head is down, I look up, I'm constantly reminded of my vision right in front of me so that I'm not going to forget why I'm working so diligently, why I am closing the door of my office and focusing on what I need to do. And while the kids are out, you know, hanging out with their friends, this is why I'm here. This is the reason why I'm continuing to work. So I'm constantly reminded of that and I don't forget because I could easily, if I didn't have this in front of me, if I had nothing in front of me, if it was a blank wall, I could easily just be like, you know what? I don't feel like working. I'm done. I'm turning myself in for the night. I'm going to go to bed. Or, you know what? I think I'm going to go shopping instead of work today. That could be so easy if I had nothing to look at, no focus. But no, definitely always have your vision board, your dream board. Take the time. Make sure it's well thought out. Don't just put random pictures. Put pictures that you really see in your future. Yeah. You really want to see in your future, your goals, your dreams. Put that in front of you and don't lose sight of it.
And so visualization is everything. So dream boards, obviously that's just step number one in visualization. But there's other like props and things that you can keep around to keep you motivated. And this is something that Tammy and I have done. So let me give you an example. So Tammy talked about, you know, I went on this trip to the Turks. I talked to her about it, and oh my gosh, we gotta go together. And we ended up doing a second trip where Tammy went and she fell in love with it. And then we write this plan, we put a time element, we save up the money, and we start going through the process. It wasn't a simple process, and it wasn't a 1 month process. It was 1 year to save up the 25 grand, and then it was a whole nother year to come up with the actual full deposit, and then it was, you know, a 3-year payoff of the loan. And so here's some of the things we did. This is the actual conch shell. I've talked about this on stage many times. I actually am probably the only person in the history of Turks and Caicos travel that got stopped by customs. And it was with my friends, and I got stopped by customs on the way out of the Turks and Caicos. And my friends would look at me going, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Man, I just got a bunch of conch shells in my suitcase. I don't know what the big deal is." But, you know, I had like 20 of them, and found out that there's certain ones you can't bring from the island. But the Queen Conch or the King Conch, one of them. So this is one of the ones it was amazing. Like we rented a boat, and you could literally swim down like 15 feet, and these conchs are all over the ocean floor. And normally you see these in these, you know, beachside stores, and they sell these things, but it's amazing swimming down, fill the bag with conch shells, and you actually crack them open. You're able to actually pull the conch out, which is like a clam, and we actually were able to eat that. We actually did it with lobster as well. It was amazing, right? You're going down, you're grabbing lobster with this little hook on a stick, and then you're going up to this island where there's no inhabitant at all. And you go to this island, we cooked lobster right there, made a fire with some friends, and we're talking unbelievable experiences. And so we had these all over our house. On our desk, I brought back jars of sand, a pirate map. Actually, have a Turks and Caicos book that I made. This is like a dream book, okay? And this just a quick, this is an old article right there, just kind of show you. This is just a little book, Will Until. And that was just something I wrote to just keep myself accountable. And so there's just little things in here, like this is just everything we could find about the Turks and Caicos. So this is an old newspaper article, okay? Just a newspaper article, Turks and Caicos, you know? Turks and Caicos Islands, beautiful by nature. Okay, we had this stuff everywhere. Every house that came for sale in the Turks and Caicos on the internet and real estate, we would print something off. Or if we found a magazine, a real estate magazine, and it had a Turks and Caicos ad, we would cut it out and we would put it on our closet door in our office. And so these are things that really, really, really work. I mean, think about all the negativity out there and all the things that are going to knock you back in life and all the people that are going to tell you can't do it. Well, this book says I can do it. This conch shell is real. The conch shell is there to remind me. So these are just some of the things we did. Now, one of our big goals was Hawaii. So I was stationed in Hawaii. Tammy and I met in Hawaii, and we just fell in love with Hawaii. We loved everything about Hawaii. It was our dream location. We were going to own a home there someday. And you know, the story about how we've used this goal-setting process for Hawaii is mind-blowing. I mean, it really, really is mind-blowing how it's worked. So we want to share it with you real briefly. And so, you know, we didn't have the, you know, we were there in the military, so we got stationed from Hawaii to Maryland. And so when we got to Maryland, and all we could think about is getting back to Hawaii, right? So we thought about it all the time, and then we found this great industry of network marketing, like, okay, we're gonna do what it takes to get us a vacation home in Hawaii. And so we started writing out the plan, dream building, cutting out articles about Hawaii, making a budget, the budgeter over here. Tammy made a budget to have a vacation in Hawaii. So it took forever for us to save up money to have a vacation in Hawaii. Then we went on a vacation in Hawaii and we said, okay, this is it. It kind of became real to us. We brought back sand, we brought back seashells, you know, all kinds of real estate magazines from Hawaii. We just covered our house with stuff about Hawaii. And then Tammy just kept budgeting these vacations to Hawaii. So we'd work our business, and we started to do pretty well in the industry. We started working our business, went 2, 3, 4 vacations to Hawaii. Then we said, you know what? We're going to rent a house on the beach, okay? This beach right here, this is Lanikai Beach in Hawaii. This is a huge photo. I don't know if it comes out in the video, but this is like 8 foot wide. This is our window into where we want to be. This was our final destination as far as our dream building was when it came to vacation homes. And so we rented a home, and we planned this for probably like, what, 2 years? Yeah. Right? And we rented a home for like 2 or 3 weeks. And we went there with our family on Thanksgiving for like 2 or 3 weeks in this house. It was this amazing plantation home on this beach, okay? And what is crazy about this is we bought this picture in Hawaii on one of our vacations. And what do we think? It was like 2008, 2009? Somewhere around the 2008, 2009, Peter Lick Galleries. We saw this picture, we were like, we got to get that picture. We could barely afford the picture. This was expensive, okay? And I'm like, please, 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 just trust me. Just get this picture. I'll look at it every day, right? And so we got the picture. We came home. We put this on the wall over at our house. And, you know, it's kind of hard not to look at this picture. It's 8 foot wide, so, like, you look at it every day. It's like you think you're in Hawaii. That was the purpose, right? And so what is absolutely mind-blowing is the house we rented for this 2 or 3 week period. This picture was taken from the backyard of that house. And I took a photo in the exact shadows of these trees, and there, you can't see it from this video, but there's a piece of like a part of a coral reef and a couple of rocks that are exactly in the photo that I took. And we didn't know that right away. We just, you know, we knew obviously all the houses along this beach, and we had been there many times. But we took the photo, we're like, oh my goodness, this looks like just like the photo at home. And then we started to like get a little almost like scared about it, because it was like, wow, it really looks like it was probably taken from one of the 4 or 5 houses within this particular part of the beach. Then we started realizing, like, wow, that rock is there, that shadow is identical, that coral reef, oh my goodness, it was the exact same home. You tell me how that happened. How can it possibly happen? The law of attraction, writing a plan, talking about it every day, talking to existence. Now that was one of those weird off the wall things that happen, but it gets weirder, okay? So while we're renting this house, Tammy and I, she was so specific with the goal was what street we wanted to live on, right? It was like within 2 or 3 streets in this town, Lanikai, okay, where we want to have our home. And so one night I go, hey, let's let's leave the kids here at the house and let's go for a walk. Okay, let's walk around. It was only a couple streets away. Let's go walk to this little neighborhood where we want to have our house someday, right? And so we're walking around and we get to this like area where we want to be, and there's a cardboard sign, and it's home, house for sale by owner, right? And so I'm like, oh, perfect, call the guy, right? Tammy thinks I'm nuts, right? Because there's no way we can afford the dream home. We're not ready yet. We're still in the formulation stage, right? And so I call this guy up, for sale by owner. This has happened so many times in our lives, right? I call this guy up and I book an appointment. I call a real estate agent who's now become one of our friends, Joel Cavasso in Hawaii, and done business with him many times now. And I call him up. I'm like, hey, we want to go look at this house. It's for sale by owner, but we really don't know much about real estate, so we don't even really know what to do. And so we go look at the house. We then go meet with a real estate agent because we want guidance. We don't want to just kind of get into this for sale by owner. We don't know what to do. And so I tell the real estate agent, he goes, oh, you're going to pay cash for it? We're like, yeah, sure, right? No, we're going to figure out how to buy this bad boy because we don't really have the money to do this, but we know this is our destiny. We've got this picture. We've been on vacations. We met in Hawaii. We're stationed in Hawaii. We've been dreaming about Hawaii. We know we're going to do this. We go on a walk. We find this house. This guy's selling it for sale by owner. We know we're supposed to do it, but that's where you come in, Mr. Real Estate Agent. How are we going to pull this off? So the guy decides that he's going to finance it for us for 1 year. Okay? It was a risk, but we're risk takers. We're not risk takers and sleeping on the couch potatoes. Oh, we made a risk and we're not going to do anything about it. We took a risk and went to work. And so we had money to put down. So we had saved up some money. So it was a small down payment. The owner financed it for 1 year. So we had 1 year to figure out how we were going to go ahead and come up with the rest of a real big deposit, right, in the loan. Tammy wrote our plan, the Tammy plan. That's what we start calling it, right? The Starbucks plan, right? Give up Starbucks, give up movies, no going out to eat. And we followed the plan to a T. 1 year later, we refinanced. It's fully our house. We named it the tree house. It had banana trees, mango trees, kukui nut trees. Beautiful piece of paradise. Here's the crazy part. You ready for this? About 500 feet from this beach. You walked across the street, you went down a beach access, and you came out the beach access. I wish I could take you on a video journey right now, how crazy this was. You come out the beach access from the house, that's the view. Okay? You can't tell me this stuff doesn't work. You couldn't make up that story. And now today, we've actually moved on and gotten a house that's actually on a canal there. It's a little bit, down the street. It's a second home. And, this whole Hawaii thing is become real for us. So 2 kids, broke, 40 grand in credit card debt, living on ramen noodles. We don't know whether we're coming or going. We're newly married. We're going to be parents for the first time. We're in this business called network marketing. Okay, I guess we're entrepreneurs now. And we just start this crazy dream building story. Write the goal, put a time limit, get visual aids. These steps work.
Absolutely. And then now the next, do you want to go over what our next step is?
Yeah, so, I get pumped on step number 4 because visual aids are like everything for me. It's writing out daily affirmations. Daily affirmations are important, right, Tammy? Like, you got to tell yourself what you want.
Yes.
And I think they're equally as important that you keep people away from you that don't want you to get what you want, right?
I can't tell you how many negative people that we've encountered on our journey, and it's what you program yourself to think is what matters. And so, there's negativity. You're going to have a dream. You're going to throw it out there. You're going to share it with people, which we highly encourage to do because you need to put it out there so those people can check on you. Say, hey, have you got that goal hit yet? Hey, have you, just checking in. Do you have that new dream property? You want them to check in on you because for us, we use that as fuel to keep us going, to say, you know what? I wonder if they're making fun of me right now or if they're really supporting me. Either way, we're going to use that as fuel to really help drive us to get to our dreams and our goals. So the naysayers, we're going to pipe them down. What's important is that you talk to yourself with positivity and also saying things, saying commands in the present tense as if you've already achieved that goal. And so positive affirmations, saying them to yourself daily, not just once. I like to say them in the morning, the first thing you read when you wake up, and at night, right before you go to bed. I put my affirmations in my cell phone so that I can read them. I put them in the notes section. I read them all. I go through them all. I read them. And then I close my eyes. I tell my son, I was sharing with Mark an example of how we go about studying. Sometimes my kids have one thing that they just cannot memorize, whether it's a history date or a philosopher or someone in one of their science or history classes. They just cannot remember, whatever it is. And so I always tell my kids, you know what? The last thing you read at night is the first thing you remember in the morning. And so whatever it is that you're having a difficulty with, focus on that right before you go to bed, have it in front of you, read it, and then in the morning, I'll go ahead and quiz you. And so I do just that. During breakfast, I'll say, hey, Marcus, who was that one guy? What was his name and what did he do? And he'll rattle it off just like that. And I'll say, oh my gosh, it worked, Marcus, see? And he's, proud of himself. I have my daughter do the same thing. And this happens with all subjects. So if it works for them for homework, it's gonna work for you for your goals and your dreams. So I want you to write down all of these affirmations that you have set forth for you. You can create them. You can say whatever you want about yourself. Create that person you want to become and create those sentences of those lifestyle goals that you want to happen and read them as if they've already happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a few affirmations right now. This may or may not relate to you. There are so many affirmations out there. You find the ones that connect with you, write them down, have them in front of you always, and say them at least 2 times a day.
And the key is these are Tammy's. These are examples of just a few of what she has. But really, that is so important to understand that today's training is not about Mark and Tammy. We're just being very transparent and allowing you to come into our a little bit more personal than the stage time of step 1, step 2, step 3. We're sharing our personal stuff with you. But please take this message and make it your own. What your why is way more important to you than our whys are to you. That this isn't about this is what you need to do. This is what we're doing. If you want to go on a journey in your life, it's important to you and your family. These are the things that are absolute necessities to be able to go out there and achieve goals. And so these are power statements that Tammy's just constantly, reminding herself of.
Now, this is important that you actually verbally say them out loud. Don't just read through, yep, got that, yep, remember this from last night, yep, I read this earlier today, done, got it. I want you to say it, speak it. And if you're around people, go to the bathroom, say it out loud so that you can hear yourself say these things. Yeah. I know that I can create miracles in my life. Today is the future I created yesterday. I deserve the best and I accept it now. All my needs and desires are met before I even ask. I am proud of myself. I now free myself from destructive fear and doubts. My income is constantly increasing. I am comfortable looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. I have unlimited potential. Only good lies before me. Guys, these can be as simple or complex, but make sure they're tuned into what you want out of life and who you want to be. Say it as if you already are, and you will soon see that come to fruition. Yeah. So now we have a fun little video that we want to share with you, and this is the enthusiasm that I want you to say. I said lock yourself in the bathroom, go in the mirror, and say this to yourself with this kind of enthusiasm.
Have fun with it, right? Check this out.
Look, I can be a shark. Now my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my moms. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my kids. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything good. Better than anyone. Better than anyone.
That was so funny. That is probably one of my most favorite YouTube videos.
It is funny. Kind of makes you a little silly, like, wow, you know what? Even kids get it. I mean, it's so simple, a kid can do it, right? But let me tell you something. Affirmations are amazing. There's an old saying that the past can't hurt you unless you think about it. Okay? So if you're thinking about something else, the past can't come back and hurt you. It's time to move forward. It's time to think about where you're going, how are you going to get there, and what it's going to be like when you're there. And you never know when you speak out loud what you want, what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a story. We're full of crazy stories. I mean, sometimes I wonder if people, when we talk about this stuff from stage, like, oh, come on, there's no way that could happen, right? That's why we wanted to do this from our home today, just kind of showing you some of the journals and the conch shells and the pictures. And so we talked a lot about this motor coach thing, right? This crazy idea. At first it was a thought, oh my goodness, can you imagine we just sold everything and we just travel around the country and build our business? I'm like, you're crazy, Tammy, no way. I've never even driven a motor coach, right? And so the next thing was like, let's do it. Okay, we're risk takers, right? Let's do it. Then it became, we're going to do it. Then it became, let's look at motor coaches, right? And so I was out there doing the biz, right? I incorporated one of my affirmations into my testimonial. And so my testimonial became this. Okay, hey, I appreciate you guys coming here today, and just my wife and I are loving this business. One of our goals right now is to sell everything we own, move into a motor coach with our daughter and our little dog, and travel around the country and build our business. And that was our testimonial, okay? And so I said that dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of times in a testimonial, okay? Here's what happened. I'm in the University of Maryland. I'm in a dorm room. Okay, I'm doing a presentation to a bunch of college kids. I tell my testimonial about how I'm going to buy this motor coach and travel around the country with my family. Kid walks up at the end. He says, hey, guy I work for owns a couple Exxon stations in Potomac, Maryland, and he's selling his motor coach. He starts telling me about it. This thing's like some crazy motor coach, right? Huge motor coach. No way Tammy and I are looking for something that big and that, luxurious. And I'm like, yeah, give me his number, right? And he goes, well, here, let me just take your information. So I give him my number, right? Of course. It's like the Hawaii House. Hey, we'll take it, right? Hey, Turks and Caicos, no problem. See, you're going to think as if. You're going to think as, I'm going to do it. I'll go through a brick wall to get it. If you believe in yourself and you believe in this company, you believe in your vision, your business, you can make anything possible. And so here's the crazy part. So you can't tell me the law of attraction doesn't work. You can't tell me that goal setting and writing these things down doesn't work. You can't tell Tammy and I that using dream boards and visualization doesn't work, because we live it every single day. So watch how crazy the story gets. I totally forget about this kid, okay? I totally forget about this story. Months go by. I get a call from a stranger. His name's Bert Ashton. I hope he bumps into this video someday. And he calls up and goes, this is Bert Ashton. He's a real prim and proper guy. He goes, I understand you're in the market for a motor coach. I'm like, heck yeah, right? I mean, we're broke, right? No, not broke, but we're real close to broke, okay? We're about this far away from broke. And, we moved from ramen noodles to ramen noodles with chicken, okay? And so he tells me the story. He goes, yeah. He goes, I ran an ad in the newspaper to sell my motor coach, and my secretary lost all of the names and phone numbers of the people that replied to the ad. But I got this young kid that works for me, pumps gas for me, said he met you at a presentation somewhere. Can you imagine that? I mean, doesn't even sound like a real story. So what do you think I did? I said, hey, no problem. He goes, when would you like to see the motor coach? I said, how about right now? And I looked at Tammy, she's like, what are we doing? What are you doing? We don't have the money. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out, right? That's exactly how it went, right? So we hop in, always, okay? Don't make me look bad, we're on camera, okay? And so I gotta watch, because we can't have our facial expressions with each other, because you guys are watching us on video right now, right? Can't hide behind a slide. So we hop in the car, we head over to the Exxon station in Potomac, Maryland, right? And we go meet Bert, and this coach is this is like a $500,000 motor coach, right? I mean, it's a 40-foot diesel pusher. It's got a jacuzzi. It's got a cedar walk-in closet.
I remember before we looked at this particular motor coach, we crafted the perfect motor coach that it would have to be in order for us to live in it. Yeah. And I remember how we learned that, having a washer and dryer in your motor coach at the time was not, it was not kind of part of the regular model. Yeah. And I said, no, we have to have a washer and dryer in our motor coach. Otherwise, it's not going to work. We said, gosh, we're going to fit all of our clothes. I'm not going to be, in and out of storage bins always, putting our clothes in, it'd be cool to have a closet.
I mean, because we were going to live in it. It wasn't like we were going on a weekend, football game tour.
Also, another important thing, full-size fridge. A full-size refrigerator with a freezer. That was important. If you're going to live in a motor coach, you're going to need access to that. Not just a little mini. Also, a convection oven, because you can't, I have yet to see a motor coach with an actual oven in it. It's been a while since I've been in one. Yeah. But that was pretty important to us. Yeah. So we put this on, we mapped it out on our dream board. These are all of our wants and our desires if it were to ever work. And we put that away. We had that on our board, and this would be amazing. But then the rest becomes even more incredible.
Yeah, now all of a sudden we're standing in this motor coach that's absolutely almost a mirror image of what Tammy drew out. And here's the thing, guys. So we don't have the money, we don't have credit. okay, because I want to say we destroyed our credit, but I destroyed my credit and then I married Tammy. So I destroyed her credit. So we'll just get that out on video now. You have it for life. You can replay this, right? So we didn't have credit. We didn't have money in the bank. We were still struggling a little bit. We had our business going, but we were pumped, right? We felt like we'd take over the world with our vision boards. And so the guy says, well, what do you think? I'm like, we'll take it. And she looks at me like, what are you doing? And so he goes, that's it? I go, yeah, but here's the one problem. Look, let's tell your story. So we told Bert our story. And we told him that we didn't have credit, we didn't have money. And he's like kind of looking at us. But here's the crazy part is it didn't scare him because he was ultra successful and mega entrepreneur. Unbeknownst to us, he was hugely successful, owned like 30 Exxon stations. And we ended up becoming friends with him, still know him today. And went to his house. What a dream home, crazy dream home. He had an actual gondola that came off the back porch of his house that it was like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. You hit this lever and you're in this gondola and you go down to this dock with this yacht. I mean, it was crazy when we got to know the guy.
And he was also upgrading from the motor coach we were buying to an amazing $1 million motor coach, which we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it was like a John Madden. Everything was like $2 million. It was crazy. But anyways, so he goes, so well, how are you going to pay me? I said, well, look, here's the deal. If you'll believe in us and you'll carry the note on this motor coach, you have our word. We'll never miss a payment. We'll do whatever we have to do. We'll go through a brick wall and make our business work, and we will make do on this loan. You know what the guy says? He goes, on the spot, he goes, here's the deal. You got to come up with $5,000 to show me you're serious. $5,000. This is a $200,000 plus loan. Okay, $5,000. I think it was just a test. And your mom or your dad has to fly in so I can meet him. Okay.
He wanted to shake their hand.
He wanted to shake their hand. Mm-hmm. So, first of all, we didn't have $5,000 in the bank. All of a sudden, we made $5,000 like that in our business. Why? Because we went to work. We wanted it. We flew my mom in. We could barely afford the plane ticket. We flew my mom in. She shook Bert's hand. We gave him the $5,000. 30 days later, everything we owned was sold in a yard sale. We moved into the motor coach. Bam, hit the road. And here's the end of the story. This is actually, this thing is heavy. This is actually a plaque, okay, that a friend of ours had sent to us. And this is the motor coach on the cover of Home Business Connection magazine. Here's Tammy and I with Caitlin. She was about 3 years old at that point. And they wrote an article about these two crazy kids on the road to riches or whatever. Motor coach. What people didn't realize is we started talking about this. We did an affirmation that we were going to drive this motor coach. I said an affirmation out loud to a college kid in University of Maryland. This kid gave my name to a guy we never met before who owned a motor coach who gave us the money basically to get a motor coach. This changed our life because we hit the road. This is what got us to California. Our business took off. Everything took off in our life. This was a pivotal point in Tammy and I's career because this was like our breakthrough moment. Like, we're living in a motor coach. It was a cool idea. And let me tell you something. It got old after a while because we were living in a motor coach in a trailer park. It was a cool idea at first, but we were like, after like a year, we're like, we got to get out of this motor coach. And we didn't have the money to get out of the motor coach. So the next goal was, how do we get out of the motor coach? Okay? You couldn't make this stuff up, guys. I mean, this is what happens when an idea goes to paper with the timeline and a plan with visual aids, daily affirmations, and allowing you to go out there. So, writing, step number 5, writing affirmations. We've done it over and over, just real quickly. I'm just going to do this on the cuff here. Perfect. Think and Grow Rich, okay? It's a great book. Think and Grow Rich, okay? I don't like the word rich, but I love the book, okay? Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. Probably one of the hardest books you'll ever read. I've read it like 10 times and still only understand like half of it. This is an old copy of it. In this book is a formula for affirmations that Tammy and I have done. And this thing is old. I wish I dated this. This is what Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. This is what he tells you to do. And let me some of them are long, so I'm just going to go. Okay, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life. And I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its achievement. These are just affirmations. There's a whole deck of these affirmations that Napoleon Hill talks about. And it's funny, at the end, he tells you to sign it. Self-reliant and successful person, Marco Smith. He tells you to sign it. I sign it. It's Napoleon Hill. Guy's a genius. Wrote a book. Followed all the most successful people around the world. Wrote a book about it. I'm not going to try to figure out how to do it on my own. I'm going to read the book. Read the book. Guy tells me to write affirmations, say them out loud. Okay, no problem. Tells me to sign my name afterwards, so I'm serious about it. I do it. Tammy has all these same examples in all her journals and all her notebooks as well. Affirmations just flat out work, right, Tammy? They just absolutely flat out work. And so we definitely know that affirmations are probably one of the keys to keep away the negative, right? When you say that's one of those barriers.
They keep you connected to your dreams and your goals and keep you focused each and every day. If you don't have focus and clarity and you're in disarray, you're probably not going to get to your goals that you've set, January 1st. A lot of people, they write them, they cover them up, put them away. Then when they're doing some house cleaning in the spring, they stumble upon this goal that you wrote and they say, oh, yeah, I did write that, didn't I? Oh, I forgot about that. What you do at that moment is you act upon that, or are you that person that closes that back up and puts that in that pile of books that you have set aside? So keeping your affirmations in front of you, repeating them consistently twice a day, minimum is something that it's completely important. There's no excuse to not do it. It's going to keep you plugged into your dreams and goals.
It's your go-to power statement. It's a perfect transition into the last and final step of the goals, and that's getting a workout partner. And so when the times get tough, and let me tell you something, the times will get tough. None of this stuff is free. All these trainings that you just buy this one book and it's your path to success, or you do this and it's overnight. Look, I'm going to say that's crap. Okay, none of that is true. It's hard work. It's sacrifice. You're going to have some setbacks. People are going to quit on you. Okay, there's going to be naysayers. There's going to be haters, and sometimes it's even people close to you that go, "Oh, that's a dumb idea." You need your go-to power statements. We would have never made it through the grind if we didn't have go-to power statements. And this next thing, step number 6, and that's a workout partner. You've got to have a good workout partner. Tammy and I obviously are workout partners, but we weren't always workout partners, right? We've had different workout partners. Sometimes we were fight partners, right? Through the journey of it, which is being real. Okay, we're married, and the married couples that work business together. No, it's like, no, you do it. No, I'll do it. No, well, I talked to 3 people today. Well, I talked to 4 people today. We've been through that. And now we're solid workout partners, but in the beginning, we needed those external workout partners to keep us going.
Now, you need a workout partner that knows what your obstacles are, what your challenges are, what is it that you put in your mind that sets you from taking that first step. He knows all of that about me. That's why it's worked as far as, being workout partners and being balancing each other out. I know his faults, he knows my faults, and we can say things in ways, it's in a loving way, to help
it's in a loving way. Okay.
It's always in love.
Should have said that a long time ago. I totally get it now.
That, to help keep both of us accountable. Now, what does your perfect workout partner look like? You really have to ask yourself that question. Don't find someone that's going to be lenient on you. Of course, you don't need a bulldog. You need someone that has compassion, that knows your goal. That's number 1 important step, is let them know what your goal is. Number 2, have them know what you easily, how you get derailed. Yeah. What is it that is going to turn your attention elsewhere? Is it, whenever you see cake, you just want to eat the cake, but then remember you will have a weight goal? And if your workout partner can't tell you to stay away from the cake, then they're probably not going to be
Or they bring over a cake. Whoa, you like cake? I got more cake. Here's cake.
They're probably not going to be a great workout partner. Yeah. But in all seriousness, find someone that you really trust. Someone that you will enable to push you and give you that nudge when necessary. Someone that you can be open with too. Don't allow yourself or them to be lenient on each other. You don't want that. That's not going to serve anyone good. And so making sure that you hold each other accountable and you find that perfect person. If you don't have that perfect person, being able to say no. I don't think this relationship is going to work out for me. Make sure you're on the same page as far as goals. If you have someone that's a high achiever and maybe you have just little teeny tiny goals, maybe you be paired up better with someone that has smaller goals. Or maybe you have someone that is, a big visionary, and so are you. You'll mesh much better.
And it doesn't mean you can't be their friends. Sometimes, it's like you have these workout partners in the business that just don't work out for you. You're still their friend. Kids are like, okay, we're not friends anymore because you're an inadequate workout partner, right? You're still friends with them, but I love what Tammy said. You have to mirror match yourself to someone who's going to push you and give you that extra mile, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So be sure to be honest with yourself. It's just a 5-minute conversation once a day, just to check in. It doesn't have to be something that's, a whole conversation. It doesn't have to be someone that you have that's like a life partner or anything like that. It could be someone that you do a quick check-in. How many exposures did you do today? How many bottles did you get out? How many bottles did you pick up? How many 3-week calls did you do? High payoff activities or income producing activities. Remember those things in the forefront of your mind. mind as far as holding each other accountable to what is that plan that you want them to hold you accountable to. And then of course your responsibility to have that vision in front of you to remind you to push you to your plan. But what we want to show to you right now is what a workout partner does not look like.
Does not look like. This is what that workout partner is. That does not look like.
Okay, that was probably one of my favorite videos. That's the workout partner you do not want. You want someone that has all four legs on that treadmill with you, huffing and puffing away. So, love to share that.
So, these 6 steps, obviously, hopefully we brought some of them to life, opposed to just, step 1, step 2, step 3. Some people do need the training that way, and so you can kind of glean from, okay, I need that step-by-step process. And I think a lot of people, and I think probably more people need to see the visual, like, all right, come on, really just open up to me, just talk to me about how does it really look? And so hopefully we give you some insight today into a window into our lives on how it really looks. Like, okay, these are the pitfalls, these are the goofy things we did. And believe me, we had people laughing at us, like, the guy's got a conch shell on his desk. You got a jar of sand there. I mean, Tammy's in the mirror reading off index cards. What are these 2 crazy people doing, right? And so, you just have to understand that to be an entrepreneur and to go to the next level and to be successful, you're gonna have to break out of the box and do things that are not traditional things. If you want to be with the masses, right? You want the mundane life, do what the masses do. The masses aren't doing this. If you want to go out there and you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be super successful, you want to get the top of your game here at Nerium, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do what the top people do. What the top people do is they think about it, they write it down, they put a time element, they write a plan on how they're going to achieve it, they use visual aids, they do affirmations, and they get workout partners. That's what the top people do. And so this is to help you kickstart and jump into the new year. What we want to make sure you do is jump into the new year and promote your team the next Nerium University. So this was the setup, Nerium University, of, okay, all right, I can do it. Okay, what is it that you want? So don't let a weeks pass without you getting a dream board, writing some of your goals. Let's get real serious about it real quick. But the next Nerium U, we're going to jump into, this is an epic Nerium U, okay? January 4th, epic Nerium U. We're going to bring the heat of major information to help you catapult your business into the first quarter of the year. So we're going to go from January into our St. Louis convention. And so we're going to give you the plan. This is the dream building part. This is the, okay, let's get the goals down. We're going to give you the actual plan on January 4th. This is a no miss, right? And so you want to make sure that anyone on your team that didn't watch this, make sure they go watch the replay so that they can get the vision and get those juices flowing of what to do. Then all of us on January 4th, we will go do Nerium U and we will give you the plan. So with that, from Tammy and I, all of you have the ability to fight the fight. All of you, whatever that fight is in your life. Now that's an aggressive word, but I think life sometimes can be a fight with all the things that are there to get in the way, the distractions, and hold you back. All of you have everything inside of you to fight the fight. And so let's go fight this fight together. You guys are awesome. We will see you on January 4th. Let's welcome in the new year. You guys take care.
Bye, guys.